Today we're going to make a really large jacket, and I'm going to show you how you can make some really simple pockets and the sleeves. So we're going to go up to our toolbar here to your left, and we're going to click on the pen tool again, or maybe we're going to, this time, here's what. Let's get the rectangular tool because I'd like to show you how you can use the rectangular tool, drawing out rectangles, shaping them to make the pattern. So here in the 2D window, I'm going to start drawing out this huge rectangle like this. Now we can have it reach up to here, I guess. Okay. And now what we have to do is we have to shape this rectangle. So we're going to go to our edit pattern tool because edit the pattern, we have to edit this. We're going to edit it by pulling down some points. For example, we can already begin. You see this here, this point. We can click on it and drag it down already. Let's say up to here. And what we do too is we can also add points. So we go back here, click on this little icon here, and we're going to add points. And we're going to add points in order to shape. So you see we have clicked this point here. I'm going to click here another point, put another point here. So between these 2 points, there is this sort of a vertex, okay? And what you do is you go back to the edit pattern tool, and when you right click on this vertex, you have these options to convert the curve point, lock, or delete the point. Now, if you delete the point, let's see what happens. You delete it, you get this straight line. Okay, so we're going to go back, Control Z. And another thing you can do, instead of doing it that way, you can just take this point and you just put it in like that. Bring it in like that. So you see, you always have many options, always many options. And then at the end, if you want to delete it, you can delete it. So let's continue shaping. I'm going to take this now here and put it here a bit, shape it here, and we can do like this. And here I need a point because now this part here, there's just one point here and one here. This I need to make the armhole. So I go back to the add a point tool and I put a point somewhere here. Go back to the edit pattern tool and move that point in. Okay, because we need to make the armhole. So with the edit pattern tool already selected here, I can just drag this out a bit like that. Now, I'm going to drag this out here to maybe like that because it's a little large. Now let me show you something about the curve point tools, the edit curve. Okay, so here you have edit curve and edit arc. Now edit arc here is, maybe I've said it before, it's when you just want the whole this like line to be curvy. So you bring it out like that. Okay? So you bring it out like that. You can bring it in, bring it out, however you want it. But if we press here on the edit curve, then you can add the points. It's more precise because you add points, and where the point where you add it, you can curve that area easily. Okay, for example, I can add a point here. I could bring it in like that. Okay, so it's more a specific area I'm curving. It looks like the whole thing, but if now I add another point here, I could just do this, and you see this area, it gets even curvier. If I add another point here, I can just bring this in like that. So here you add the points and you really, it's doing fine-tuned curving here. It's much more precise. So I'm going to do Z, Control Z, 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 just to go back to where we were before, okay? So we were practically here. Okay, I'm gonna go again. Yes, just this part, this like this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to select Move tool, and oh, here's what, let's sort of curve this inward a little. Okay, now select Move, right click, symmetric pattern with seam we can do. Then the usual thing with the copy paste or Control C, Control V. Here are the shortcuts written right here for you. And then we're going to bring it in front like this, twist him to the side, and then all the way back. Right click, and then we flip it horizontally, and we can begin segment sewing. Okay, we segment sew, we're going to simulate. Okay, so here we've simulated, and well, this looks too long. So what we're gonna do is this. We click on the edit pattern tool. We click on this line, and because there is a symmetry, both of them are highlighted. Hold on Shift, click on this one because I just want it a bit shorter. And any line you choose, you just drag it up, up, up like that, and drag it up a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so we dragged it up a little bit more, and we're going to simulate. So you simulate, and this, yeah, looks like a dress, doesn't it? But I need it to look a bit straight. So I need to manipulate these parts here. So with the edit pattern tool selected, I'm going to just click on this point here. I'm gonna bring it in like that, so. Click on this one, bring it in like so. Okay, we're not being precise by making it too narrow. We'll see that later on, how we can do that later on, but for now, just rough measurements. Okay, so this is straighter, but it's really tight. So what we do, we go to our select move tool, and we're going to make this the width. Okay, we're going to make it wider. So we do like this, double click in the center. Okay, you see the green dot. We go, this is the width, this is the length. We here go to the side where this dot is, and then the cursor becomes an arrow, and we just drag like that. We drag a little and simulate, see what happens. Okay, so this is maybe more what I would like to, yeah, achieve. I'm gonna make it just a little large. Okay, just gonna make it wider again. Now simulation, you can use this, or you can just click with your space bar and then it simulates. Okay, so you can do one or the other. Slowly, you're gonna learn all the shortcuts. So there, I have a gripe about this sleeve, the armhole rather. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to um, sort of there's like a peak here. So I'm gonna bring it in, roughly bring this in like that. Bring this in like that. Simulate, we're just gonna see how it looks. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to edit pattern again. Um, bring these points down a bit like that. And bring this a bit down like that. And okay. Well, more or less. Edit pattern. We're going to bring this down a little and then we eventually, for it to really look good, we're eventually going to leave this because now this front section is sewn. So if we want to delete the sewing relationship, all we have to do is go to the edit sewing. We click on that. We right click on what the sewing relationship we want deleted and we delete. So now if we simulate, we can open this up. Okay, so we've opened it up a bit and we'll more or less, yeah, we'll leave it like that. So now we like to add a pocket and maybe we want to add a pocket just on one side, not both sides of the front pattern. Okay, let's look at the front pattern. We want what, but remember now, if I go to add a pattern, whatever I do here is going to reflect here because of the symmetry. So what we can do is we select this and we right click, and to turn off the symmetry, here there is remove linked editing. Okay, linked, so they're linked, it's going to be removed, the link is going to be removed between them. So we click on this and there is no more symmetry. You see, if I click on this, you see nothing, no highlighted, nothing. Okay, and the opposite is true, because if I would like to put back the symmetry, I can just click on the pattern piece, hold down shift, click on the other one, right click, and I can apply the symmetry. Apply symmetry and it's back on. You see, when I click on this one's highlighted, this pattern piece is highlighted. So this is very useful to know. But as we've said, we're going to remove this symmetry. So remove linked editing. So we remove the linked editing and we're just going to do a simple pocket. So now we go up to our toolbar and here, this group here, we click, we find here the remember the rectangular tool, the oval, internal dot, spiral, and add point. But we want the rectangle. So when you use these within a pattern piece, you create the internal lines. So we're going to more or less over here, we're going to create this pocket. Bigger like that. So here, what it's practically is, it's like a guide onto which you sew the pattern piece, because this is just a line. So now what we need to do is create the pocket, and you can do that several ways, but the easiest way is this. Select move tool, the pocket piece, it's already highlighted, right click. Okay, so when you right click, you can clone as pattern. And when you clone as pattern, this box comes up, clone as pattern, a pattern piece, you click now in the 2D window and you see this piece is automatically created and it shows up in the 3D window. So here you can begin sewing this piece on. I'm going to add some color so you can better understand the way these pieces fit onto the main pattern. So I'm going to add like this fabric, add the color, and we can add a gray color. Okay. Remember, you can just drag and drop. It's so easy, or you can just go through the other um, ways to add color to your pattern. Now, to a pocket, remember the opening is here, and so we have to sew around this area. Up to now, we've only done the segments, learned about the segment sewing tool. And okay, we'll keep it to in this lesson. You click on the segment sewing, and you can do it in the 3D window or the 2D window. So we can do like this, we can do like this, and we can do like this. And we simulate, and it automatically is attached. Now, if you want to give this some simple detail, you press on the select move tool, you click on the select move tool. Let's take the pattern piece out here a bit. And what we do is we can just enlarge in this pattern piece by double clicking in the middle and doing it like this. Now remember, always when you double click in the middle and you enlarge in the piece, it's enlarged by the same measurement on both sides, and that's the big advantage. Here we simulate. Okay, something's really wrong here. It's going into the material like that. Okay, good. Now it's better. This is sort of skewed, but it's okay. You know what I mean. And so here it looks more, there's more detail. You understand it a little better. So this is a one way of doing pockets. This is the simplest pocket. Now let's go on to create some sleeves. Okay, some rough sleeves. Now we want to, let's see, I don't like the way this is shaped. I'm going to pull this in a little bit like that. Okay, and simulate. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to click on the edit pattern tool, and when you left click on a line, this gives you the measurement of the line. You see, left click, it's highlighted yellow, the measurement. So this is 25.81. Okay, let's say it's 26. Just rough measurements. And this is 24. Okay, let's say it's 25. So let's say it's 26 by 252. Okay, we put this like 26 because the sleeve may be a little slightly bigger. In real life, when you sew, it has to be a slightly bigger to accommodate, and it's, there are a lot of details behind that, but more or less it's like that. So what we do, we said 52. So we need 52. So, you divide it half and half. So you go up to your rectangular tool And what we're going to do, we left click and the dialog box comes up. And we write in 52. And the length, okay, the length could be about 30. And then we can always make it longer if we want to. So here you have this sort of short, it's going to be short sleeve. So you want then this part, you want it to be, you can work on it several ways. You can put a point. Okay, let's do it like this. Put a point here in the middle. And then with the edit pattern tool, you can raise it. Then you can delete it by doing a convert to curve point. And here you have more or less this curved area. So now in real life, you need to go and look and to see how, the way sleeve patterns are. We're going to be doing something really approximate here, but you really need to see the way they are. Now, remember now, by raising this, I've increased the measurement. So let's go to the edit pattern tool and see what it's 61. 61. So it's larger than 52. Okay. So of course, another way to decrease this is you want to maybe uh, you could work on the curve. Okay. Lower it a bit. You see now why it's being lowered here like that? It's less. It always becomes the number is less. And at this point, this must could be okay. Let's just add the point in the middle or wherever. And what we can do is you always check out real sleeves. We could go to the edit curve tool and we can sort of tweak this part here. We can like do like this because and we do like that. Okay, so it looks better. So what we have is we have this sleeve pattern where we have to find it in our 3D window. Okay, and we need to put it closer to the avatar. Let's use our gizmo to help us turn. Okay, this is not the right side. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then what we do is we want to turn it in this way. So more or less, it's close to the area where we have to sew it onto. So with our segment sewing tool, we can just go here and just start sewing. And we simulate. And here we have a sort of sleeve that we eventually going to sort of fix. And then you just sew these two sides together. Simulate. And here it is. Now, if you want to, you can practice and you can manipulate these sleeves, make it longer, shorter, whatever you want to do. I'm going to just make this slightly longer here. So I'm just going to pull it down like that. Let's see what happens here. Trouble. Okay. We sort of pull it out. Okay, pull. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do it short. I'm going to go back, Control Z a couple times and just slowly pull it down so it don't have too many problems with clipping. Okay, and okay. So, okay, so that's better. Now, if you want to make this a little bit narrower, we can do it like this. With a select move tool, we can do like this. Double click in the center, go to the sides, and we make it a little narrower. Simulate, and here it is. Now, we want to do another sleeve for this armhole, and that's easy because all you have to do is with the select move tool selected, you click on it, right click, and you put symmetric pattern with seam, and here it is. It's all ready for sewing. Sometimes there are glitches where I don't get the sewing relationship um, here attached already, but this time it's working. So you've arranged it on the avatar, you just simulate and it's gone. So you see, part is hooked and part is not. Okay. So here, the what's not attached, I will attach it using the segment sewing tool. Let's fix this properly. Okay, so cement sewing, and that's it. And now it's attached. So, so this is just a rough way to do some sleeves and just practice doing this. And oops, more or less that's it for this video. See you in the next video.